All righty. We're going to press on. We get to pass this mantle over right now to our good friend David Cranfill. He has a really awesome message. I can just feel the presence right here. So with that, David, here you are.
All right. Can you hear me? Fantastic. My name's David Cranfill. I run Kingdom Flame Internet TV along with my lovely bride Janet, who is back manning the cameras. We and 5 other volunteers run a 24/7 micro internet TV station. So I'm going to do something here. I'm going to give you some tools that will amplify what the rest of the people are talking about here and help tie it all together. But then I'm going to cast a vision for something that's extremely important and is quite likely the future of broadcasting. So we're going to talk a little bit about how you can change the world, but then I'm going to cast a vision for something. Okay? So let's talk about something. Up here on the PowerPoint, you see a slide that says media equals connection. Okay, now, I, as a pastor, ordained minister, we know that you connect with people hands-on and, in person and all of that. But when you're talking about billions of people on the planet, how do you connect with people that are 1,000 miles away? How do you connect with people in the other 100 nations? Okay? So yes, I know that the best kind of connection is hands-on, in person. But let's face it, how many of you have a favorite actor that somehow you feel you know, or a newscaster, or someone else? You've made this connection because they've spoken into your life. Okay? Some preacher that you listen to every day, and you maybe even donate money to them. Okay? They've made a connection in your life. So I submit to you that media is another way to connect. Okay? Now, I want to dispel a mistruth that has been preached all over the planet. People tell me all the time, oh, I'm not called to the media mountain. Bunk. Okay, because quite frankly, to compete in the world that we live in, you must use media or you're a non-competitive has-been. Okay, can I just be honest and frank with you? Okay, it's the truth. All right, to be competitive, you have to use the media mountain. Now, in a couple of minutes, I'm going to talk to you about the build by question. If you're not called to the media mountain, don't build a studio. I meet pastors all the time that have visions. Oh, I'm going to build a studio and I'm going to do this, and they can't sort out their email troubles. Okay, and where are you going to get $100,000 to build a studio? Where are you going to get the people to run it who have a heart for it and have years of experience so that when you put it out, you're competitive? Okay, now I could teach you how to make your own private videos for your YouTube page. That's different. But there's a huge difference between how to make quality videos for a Facebook page versus a studio. Okay, so the first thing is, if you're not called to the media mountain, don't build a studio. Work with professionals who are called to do it. Okay? But you are called to the media mountain to take your other mountains, or you're not going to be competitive. I have to take a moment and repent. I never speak without praying. Lord, Holy Spirit, would you guide us, guide our words, and we invite you to be present here. And I pray that you would transform the ministries and the businesses in this room with your presence in Jesus' name. Let you and you alone be glorified. All right, so Jesus is Lord. I'm sorry I started talking. I'm worried about the clock because we're running late, and I didn't pray. All right, so forgive Pastor Dave. I just have to do that. All right, so here's a thought. Okay, let's look at slide number 1. All right, in 2018, just under 58% of every bit on the internet that was downstream, downloaded, coming from the internet into somebody's house, phone, tablet, you name it, was media, or specifically video. 58% of the global data moved downlink on the internet was video. All right, now I want you to imagine the hundreds of billions of dollars that creating this media, moving this media around, entire power plants worth of electricity every moment that are powering this. All right, all the staff, all the efforts, all the advertising, Sister Stevie laid out a lot of it. Okay, I want you to imagine 58% of internet traffic is video. Okay, I say to you again, if you are not doing media, you are not competitive to go take your mountains. So if you're not called to the media mountain, fine, don't go build something you're not called to build. But you need to learn how to use the tools, both social media and, in my opinion, a website, and create media to tell your story. Okay? Does that make sense? So, 58%. Netflix is 15% of internet traffic on its own. YouTube is 11.4. Okay? Prime Video, Amazon, 3.7. Media streaming, 13.1%. That's things like Kingdom Flame TV here. Okay? Transport stream, another 5%. I won't go into the technology, but here's the idea. Think about this tens of billions or hundreds of billions of dollars and follow the money. If this wasn't one of the most important business aspects of our society, why would this kind of money in every country on earth be putting the money there? You think it's just a hobby? Okay, so pull your heads out of the sand. You must touch the media mountain to take your mountain. But again, if you're not called to the media mountain, don't go build something you're not called to build, but use the tools. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so repeat after me. I will use the media mountain to fulfill my destiny. And I will ask the Lord for wisdom. It's that simple. Okay? Next slide. See, if you don't think it's that important, just imagine the billions. Okay? It's that important. All right, I'm going to talk to you about content. Content is the key to making a connection to these people that you need to influence. If you want to be a school board person and influence the government mountain, that's how you do it. Okay? If you want to influence the family mountain, okay? If you want to fight abortion, if you want to be government, all of these things, you have to make a connection with people that you may not ever personally meet. How many of you see, the Democrat candidate, and over here is Donald Trump, and here was Hillary, and they're all going around? What is the percentage of the people who watch them on media versus the people who actually went to a rally and got to shake their hands? I submit to you that there was a 10,000 to 1 ratio or bigger of people who ever shook Donald Trump's hand or Hillary Clinton's hand as they're running for president versus those who saw them on media. Okay, so content is a key to connection. Okay? According to Ad Age, which is one organization, millennials spend an average of 25 hours a week online. What that means, many in this room are a little older than millennials, but here's the thing. The next generation is hanging out 25 hours a week. I have people that get angry with me because on our newsletter we say, David and Janet Cranfill, internet missionaries. And one lady got in my face and said, "You're not a real missionary." I said, "Well, I've built 3 churches in Uganda. We've done health outreaches and vaccinated hundreds of people. If you want to talk about my mission work, at least get to know me before you throw stones." But honestly, I reach into a huge number of nations with what we're doing. Okay? Get your head out of the sand. This is the new mission field. 25 hours a week is where the next generation is living online. There is your mission field to take your mountain. Okay? Millennials are 44% more likely to trust experts. Now, how many of these experts have they ever met? All right, Sister Stevie, I think it was, it said that you have to have 6 or 7 connections with someone before they really trust you or they buy from you. Well, you watch videos of a preacher, after the 5th or 6th Bible study, you decide that this guy is speaking into your life, maybe you order something. But you also lower your guard enough to where this guy can actually influence you. Okay? It's like I've heard from Mama Billy many times now. She has influence in my life because she has impressed me with the Holy Spirit stuff that has touched me. Okay? You all have people that have touched your life, and they're like, okay, when that guy speaks, I kind of listen just a little bit. Okay? So, you become an expert. You become someone who could speak with authority because of your content. Maybe not the first time. Okay, maybe I'll preach so good today that I will stick something in your head, but maybe you'll have to go to Kingdom Flame and hear me a few more times before I have authority in your life. But most of the experts that you trust are through content because you've never met them. Okay, so content is the key to connection. Millennials are 247% more likely to be influenced by blogs or social media. Okay? What that means is what Sister Stevie was teaching you about social media is huge. Blogs are what I'm going to talk to you about. How to use a basic website blog as your island base. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay? So a blog would be like your website, and I recommend a blog type format. And then social media is where you go meet the billions. Okay? So between the two, if you do both of these things, you are 247% more likely to influence the next generation of people buying. I'm talking about millennials who are old. Millennials are now buying cars, buying stuff. This is the people that are coming into their prime. Those of us that are baby boomers, I'm one of the youngest of the baby boomers. We're in our fading times in influence and income, although I still probably have 30 or 40 years I hope to preach before the Lord comes back, if he gives me that time. Okay, I'm not quite 60, so I hope I have another 3 decades if the Lord allows. Okay, but you are 240% more likely to influence these guys. Content and value given are the key to reach an audience. You give them content and you have them feel like they received something of value. Okay, now here's the beautiful part. If you write a 5-minute teaching that will make somebody's day or change their thinking, that they'll go, that really helped me. Once you've made it and it's on your website, thousands and thousands and thousands of people can watch it and it costs you nothing. You can continue to have that influence and you've given them something of value. When you give somebody something of value, if you buy somebody a cup of coffee, just being generous, they're going to remember that. So guess what? They're more likely to say hi to you when they see you on the street. So when you give away your media, thousands of YouTube videos of how to do something. Now when I don't know how to do something with plumbing, I'm really good with electronics. Plumbing is where I need help, so that we don't have water everywhere. So I go YouTube 2 different videos on how to do plumbing and decide which one of those 2 was an idiot. Okay? Well, no, sometimes you see videos and you're like, okay, that guy knows what he's doing, that guy knows what he's doing, that guy's just cheap and dirty, and I'm better than that. Okay, so I figure out how to fix my plumbing problem, or fish tank problem, or insert whatever you're thinking about here. All right, but this is where value given, okay? I've heard from multiple marketing gurus, and I believe you touched on it, Stevie, that you must give value and gain trust before they're ever going to buy. I think you said it's 7 times or 8 times, something like that you have to give them value and have them take in the content and touch your site in some way before they're likely to buy. Okay, so that's it. Next slide. All right, video is a tool to connect. Short videos are ideal to teach concepts and connect to the audience. By appearing in a video, your audience can feel they know you and connect to you. The reason you use a video is they're looking in your eye, they get a feel in the spirit for what you're about, okay? And it just makes you a person to them, okay? Even though they've never met you. A series of shorter videos, on a blogger website, serialized maybe in social media, one after the other, can present your ideas. That's where we get the 6 or 7 contacts before they subscribe or before they buy. They watch 3 or 4 videos and you're feeding them breadcrumbs and they eat them, and by the time they've seen all 7 of your videos, they're now ready to support your mission to change the school board. Okay, you've got their vote, you've got their money, you sold them something, okay? It doesn't matter what you're doing, by the time you fed them all these breadcrumbs, you have now crossed that barrier that Sister Stevie talked about, where they are now in your camp. Now, not everybody, but you're there where you can actually do something with it. Example, another thing about short, TED Talks has some of the world's best experts. Anybody, raise your hand if you've ever seen a TED Talk. They're 18 minutes, right? Yep. Well, let me tell you something. Right now, Facebook has an algorithm. If a live video goes longer than 17 minutes, it gets extra weight in their algorithm. And it may have changed in the last couple months. Last time I looked, it was 17. Okay? So if you do a live broadcast, always run it past 17 minutes, because it'll add weight. If you're doing little short exhortations that people are going to read drive-by, keep them around 5 minutes. Okay? So things you upload that are like long memes, keep those 5-7 minutes, because that's all they're going to give you. But if you're talking about something of interest, try and get 17 minutes, particularly if it's live, because it'll put more weight on the algorithm. Okay? Bottom line, add them videos to your website, and preferably link them to your emails and to social media is a way to build your audience. Next. All right. Let's talk about a website versus social media. All right? Yesterday you had an expert on social media talk to you about it. I'm going to give you a thought. Your website is your island. It's the only thing that the world can see that you own. You don't own your Facebook page. You could be banned in an instant. You don't own the videos you put on Facebook. They can cut them off, or they could go play them out to somebody else and sell ads on them and make money off your videos. That's true of YouTube, Instagram, or any of the rest. These corporations are using you to build their audience. Is that evil? No, it's just business. Guess what? I'm using them to build my audience. We're using each other and smiling about it. Sounds like politics, doesn't it? Okay, but understand something. You don't own anything on social media, because they could cut you off in a heartbeat. I once had like 30 or 40 videos out of the hundreds on Kingdom Flame that were like embedded Facebook, because I was trying to see if that would build our Facebook numbers. And then one day Facebook changed the rules, and all 30 of those videos on my website were no longer visible. So now I look like I can't run a website. Oh, video not available. I didn't do that. Facebook did. I once got banned from YouTube because I advertised that I was going to live stream a controversial preacher who leads a prayer movement. Well, some of the YouTube staff members banned me before I ever played a single frame of video on a YouTube channel. And of course, we called them out on it, and it's like, no, we know what we were doing, and they quickly backpedaled. But you can be banned from YouTube just because you say you're going to broadcast someone who's on their hit list. Christians, wake up. These people are not your friends. They're using you, and it's okay to use them, but this is where you need to be wise as a serpent, gentle as a dove. All right, wake up, use your head, okay? Because at any given moment, Facebook may decide that Christians don't meet their content standards. So for now, use them hard. But your island is your website. You own it. It is the only place where a Christian business, because persecution will come. Some countries it's intense, other countries it's not, but there will be a degree of persecution. The advantage of a website is that it's the only thing you own. So your website, one of the speakers here made a comment that your website is like your own personal brochure. That's a perfect thought. I'll steal that thought because it's better than the one I was going to use. I like to steal things from people, from my peers. It makes me look smarter than I really am. Okay? Here's a thought. That's your island. So, I recommend that you always have a copy. So if you put out a video on Facebook, upload the same video or download it from Facebook and upload it to Vimeo. I really recommend Vimeo, and you want a paid account. $84 a year is the starter Vimeo account. Here's why I like it. Now, I pay them hundreds. I have an enterprise level account, and I have unlimited streaming. I have all kinds of things with them. I'm an enterprise level user, in addition to having 4 of our own servers for doing this stuff, okay? But what that gets you is you could just pay them to take in your videos and process them. You upload the video, and they make 4 different versions on it. And they serve it to Apple devices, Android devices, in their player, and they worry about all of that. Vimeo, you upload one video to Vimeo, and they will make 10 or 12 different versions of it and serve it to people. What that means is for a small fee, you don't have to worry about it. And then you just click and embed their code and paste it on your website, either on Wix or preferably WordPress, okay? And that video is now on your website, and it's always modern, and it's always secure, and it's done. $84 a year, or for bigger places, there's a $300 package of $600 and $900, or you can get up into the enterprise level. I think I paid them just under $5,000 this year. So I move a lot of content around the planet. And they only have a third of my content. The other's on my web servers, but I'm using a mixture of corporate America versus my own servers, okay? I recommend that you get a Vimeo account. Here's the thing. If all your videos disappear on YouTube, they're still on your website, okay? Now here's a thought. Our experts in social media said Facebook doesn't like to let you off of Facebook. They want you on Facebook. When you embed a YouTube video, they're going to put another video that's not yours at the end to try and take you off to watch that so they can keep serving ads to you. All right? When you get someone to your website, so what I do is I have a program we produce on our TV station by Dina McClure. She puts out a 3-part, 28-minute TV program. The first 5 minutes are called My Take, and it's Dina talking about something. Then she does a teaching of 18 or 19 minutes, which is enough when we play it out live to the social media to trigger the filters, and it gets extra stuff. Then she does a, Great Women in History segment that is incredibly popular, okay? So all of that adds up to 28 minutes and 30 seconds for a standard TV program, but we serve them out onto Facebook in 3 different pieces, okay? So we got a 3 or 4 minute video that's served out in, early morning, and people go, oh, that's wonderful. Then we've got a meaty thing that triggers the 18-minute thing that's got informational, value given. Then we've got a 10-minute, maybe 12-minute, famous women in history. And that appeals to a targeted audience, women, and how women can reach into their destiny. The last week's one was Joan of Arc. Now, the beauty of this is on all the social media, it says, hey, you want to watch the whole thing? Click here, and it's the link to Dina McClure's channel on Kingdom Flame. Well, to watch anything on Kingdom Flame, you have to get a free membership. What happens, they go there, and it pops up and says, oh, you got to log in. You have to have a free membership. She talked yesterday about the sales funnel. Even if you're not selling them something, we've funneled them in where they've landed on my website, and it says, oh, get a free membership, it only takes 30 seconds. So they put in a username and a password and an email. 30 seconds later, they're watching the whole episode. But I have just added that user that we found. We cast a net for a fish and all the billions on social media. But now they're one of the 14,000 people I have on my email list. Okay, you see what I'm saying? And until they click the unsubscribe button, I have them. Now I can talk to them with more videos. And they're on my website, so guess what? The video that pops up at the end of that video is one of mine. And they click it because it looks just like YouTube. So I'm using all the brainwashing that Netflix and YouTube has done, but they're on my website, and I'm feeding them my thinking so that I can influence them and or sell them recordings. Which, by the way, you need the recordings of this. Because this is how we come here. FYI, they don't pay us to come here, okay? I'm a $1,000 a day fee recording engineer with these cameras. So sometimes we do things where they own it all and we're producing. That's not how this works. We're here as missionaries trusting God to sell enough recordings. But the beauty here is that Teresa gets professional media. You guys can buy them, and then we can make TV programs and take your Destiny Arising message out to the planet. And I'm probably going to get in trouble here, but Teresa Phillips has said for the last year, I want a Destiny Arising TV program on Kingdom Flame. Well, Laura already produces media, and for $500 or $600 a month, you could be on that every day and produce a program every week. Maybe Destiny Arising should decide to fund her dream to have a TV program. Cheap, dirt cheap. We literally can produce quality internet TV where people can watch live on our station and then go to their channel. Everybody who's got a program has a channel, and they can watch on demand anywhere on the planet, okay? We're talking about $600 a month, and that's not all Kingdom Flame. You could use Laura as the studio. You can use Andrew. We're competitors, but not competitors. We're friends also. She's a big donor of ours, okay? Laura is already producing media for Destiny Arising. So you could use Laura and use us to give it to the planet on live TV and on demand, okay? This is the beauty of the next generation marketing, okay? Anyway, she has a dream of doing that. She's not in the room right now, so I just probably am in deep trouble. But honestly, I think you guys ought to do it, because what if it brought you 50 chapters, one in every state? Okay, it's incredibly cheap for what you could reach. Okay. So here's the thing. You get them from social media to your website, and you harvest their email. And now they click and watch more of your videos instead of what YouTube or Facebook serves them. Now you've got 6 or 7 videos. You're reaching that magic point where you've earned their trust, you've given them value, and click, they bought it. All right, so we've helped you with your funding, we've helped you with your influence, we've helped you gain trust, all because we cast a huge net out on social media to find the billions, but then when the one comes to your island that you own, you now begin using the same tools that Facebook and YouTube does, and CBS, to earn their trust, and now you've got their email address. And okay, so that's how you say, Dave, how many is your email list? Well, it's about 14,000, and we have hundreds come on every month and hundreds drop off every month, because if the email bounces, it gets called out. If we don't like them, we call them out. People unsubscribe, and that's okay. But how do you get this list? Well, it's from people clicking. Okay, tools for making videos. Top tier, people like CBS and all of that have studios. It costs about $10,000 a month to be on Daystar or TBN. If you've got that kind of reach, go do it, okay? Tier 2, studios and consultants that produce lower cost content ranging from internet quality up through full broadcast quality and beyond. I recommend that. I am a Tier 2 studio. We've got 4K cameras here. I could be recording in 4K. Andrew is a film producer. You saw my son Andrew here. He's in Chicago. Laura is a Tier 2 producer. She produces hundreds of webinars for important apostolic figures. I won't drop names right now, but you could see some important name-known people on Laura's site as well as Kingdom Flame, okay? You've got 3 Tier 2 studios that were here that are amazingly inexpensive, okay? Next, you could self-produce but use better tools. I don't recommend this because most of you do not really have the technical chops, but I could tell somebody how to spend $1,500 and be a tier above most of what's on social media, okay? So if that's your calling, go ahead, but if you have trouble with your own email, get some help, okay? Most of you, I'm not telling you to go build your own studio. That doesn't mean you can't build a little cell with a backdrop, decent lighting, a webcam, and do Facebook videos. My point here is for that level of stuff, spend a couple $100 and build a cell so that you're nicer looking than everybody else using a smartphone, okay? Bottom tier, use a smartphone or tablet. Go for it. If you're not putting out anything else, do a selfie and put it on Facebook Live. The problem with that is you look no different than everybody else out there, and you're trying to compete with everybody else out there doing that. Well, unless you're really pretty or really profound, you are upside down. Okay? Let's be honest. All right, I'm preaching hard at you guys because I'm trying to shake up some bad information that you've been done. Okay? Bottom tier. So, next slide. All right. All right. I recommend that you use a professional. Okay? Tools. I recommend you use WordPress for your website because you could just paste in stuff from Vimeo. I recommend you use GetResponse, okay? GetResponse for your email, because they will manage your email list. They will meet all of the government required security where people can unsubscribe, and they have these funnels where when somebody buys a web stream, we send them automatically what's called an autoresponder, was taught on yesterday. They get their credentials for the conference and a PDF with all the pictures and all the stuff. Use that. GetResponse can be as little as $15 a month. Here's the beauty. If you're a nonprofit, they're half price. So I should be paying hundreds of dollars for the size of list. I pay for 25,000 emails because my list goes up and down, and it's like 14 today. So I pay for a big email plan. That should be hundreds of dollars a month. Well, I pay $72 because I'm a charity. So not only did she recommend GetResponse, I'm telling you I like them because they're half price if you're in any way a nonprofit. Use GetResponse. Use Vimeo. Use WordPress for websites or Wix if you have to. I don't have time to talk about it. I like WordPress because it's free and much more flexible. Wix is for people who are technology challenged, so if you're technology challenged, use Wix, okay? Now, all right, so that's the end of my presentation. I want to take a minute or two, and I'm going to cast a vision. This is the most important future of broadcasting, and I want you to listen to me, okay? What Kingdom Flame is called to do is to invade the space between all the billions of people doing selfies with a smartphone and between God TV and CBS that are over the top on your channel, okay? Now, there's almost nothing there that is built for internet only. You understand what I'm saying? Our TV station plays out 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. People have channels on there, people have programs, and they can click and watch. This is the future of broadcasting, okay? Apostles and prophets are now starting to say that it's too expensive to be on Christian TV. We can't afford $10,000 a month. You ever notice that on many of those, the whole thing is about raising the offering? They've lost their message because they're trying so hard to come up with the $2,500 a week it takes. The beauty of this next generation is for a couple $100 a month, we could send your thing in a channel in Urdu language or in Farsi. Now that we have a 24/7 TV playout, adding another language is just more memory and storage. So we're believing God to have channels for individual languages. We already get into every country on earth. I don't have time to talk about it, but this is the future. Netflix is already bigger than CBS, ABC, NBC in terms of their media delivered already. But they don't do live. We're actually doing live and everything Netflix does. So we've got all the on-demand and all the series and all the complete conferences that are like a whole TV series, 15 videos, and we're live and we're talking about adding news and other things now. This is the future of broadcasting, all right? This is where it's going. I recommend that you get behind what we're doing and be part of it because you have an opportunity to go directly to the pocket of everyone on the planet, okay? If interested, Google me. I know a little bit about cell phones, okay? I have 14 cell phone patents, and if you check me out, I architected the first of the Android smartphone systems for touch, okay? So I know about smartphones, and when I left corporate America, we took what we knew and we started bending broadcast, along with other people. There's plenty of people playing here, but there's really nobody in that vast gulf between the selfie and the full TV. There's like 2 others on the planet, and some of them aren't Christian. But we are actually the future. Okay, so I ask you to get behind Kingdom Flame. Everybody in the room, you could go to kingdomflame.com and sign up for a free membership. That'll give you about 70 videos to watch and probably 3 to 6 new ones every week. And if you sign up as a partner, $10 or $15 a month, there's 10 conferences you can watch right now for free or for no extra cost. Okay, so get behind what we're doing. This, guys, is the future. For once, I'm encouraging the body of Christ to get behind the future instead of playing catch up. Okay? So, anyway, there's on your handout, Vimeo, GetResponse, okay, WordPress, or Wix if you have to, but WordPress. All of these are things that are either free or low cost that will help you change the world. There's also my email that you can email us and I can give you advice. Better yet, if you've got a big project, you can hire our team as a consultant. But this is not why I'm here, okay? Use the tools, guys. Start on it today. If you just spend 10 minutes a day, you could change the world. But start working on your media now. Dr. Teresa?
Really, 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 really good. Praise God. How many of you are getting tools for your future? There's about some things that are about to shift. There's an atmosphere shift taking place. There's whirlwinds taking place. And you're all going up another step, another notch. But right now we are going to break for the luncheon break. And we will be back here at 2 o'clock.